This is an Xbox One, well, in pieces. I needed to take it apart to actually get to the hard drive so that I could restore the boot animations. But once I get this back together, I should be able to go through phase 3 testing. Now, without the boot animations are a very benign piece. So I decided to just leave the boot animation off. Well, not really decided. It's a symptom of changing out the hard drives. You have to add the boot animations in after you get it all formatted and updated. And in this case, this is probably one of my earlier batches of Xbox Ones where I didn't have that many hard drives, or some of the consoles that I got just simply didn't have the hard drive, or the hard drive failed, so I had to kind of pass around one or two different hard drives across multiple consoles. This one ended up with a 500 gigabyte Seagate. Well, I'm just going to get it back reinstalled. I put the boot animations in. I'll have to confirm that they're actually there before I go too terribly far, just in case there's an issue. But reinstalling the boot animations is not too big of a deal. And what the boot animation is fairly self-evident. It'll make more sense when I actually show it. Let me get it back together enough to test. And then I'll show it off what I mean by that. Should have probably put the front panel on before pressing the power button. I mean, I didn't even put in the power. Or I didn't even put in the front panel. I accidentally just shorted it against the connector, but it'll work. Here's my capture card. It should be grabbing that source. Voila. That's the boot animation. So before, what would happen is it would hang on a black screen until it got the profile selection. So now it is good. So it might not want to power off because it's just now booting on. Oh no, what happened? I yanked the power cable. It'll be fine. So let's get this back fully together. Hard drive's in place. Screws are in. I need to just start putting all the studs back in. And then just snap the outer shell pieces together. Right. So I found the best way to sort of put this back together is to get the front panel connected. And then hinge it on to the lower shell piece. So it'll sit like that. And you get the upper shell piece. Sort of rest it down in place. Make sure all of the everything is lined up, and then just begin clipping it together. Especially around the lower housing. So it's still separated up here, but once you have it all lined up and the two housing pieces are married together, you can just sort of push this front panel on. It might take a little bit of finagling, but there, it'll snap right together. Get this side vent piece on that's currently out of frame, just consequence of how big this thing is. Alright, with that little side adventure done, we can actually get to the console itself. So this is, again, Xbox original. Xbox One original. It is shell serial number 362035254148. I'm going to grab my notes, which are basically just this in a more legible format. 36203. Alright, let me add... Storage is 500 gigabytes. Alright, let's see where we're at. Okay. So I probably mention this every time I look at these notes. This console was one of two consoles that I got in a lot, where the disk drives were swapped for some reason. And since the disk drives are married to the motherboard, you can't do that. It'll spit out an E100 error, and the console just simply won't work because it won't be able to authenticate the disk drive, as they share unique encrypted keys. So swapping the drive back into it made it work just fine. It looked like the disk drive was having problems, which was probably the original reason why the disk drives were swapped. Swap a faulty disk drive into another console, basically. Console needs to be cleaned. Hard drive was removed to test another console. Yeah, that's why it didn't have boot animations. Missing all of its feet. I did give it feet. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like I cut my own foam feet on it. Tested okay needs to be... No boot animation. So it does say it failed to read the crew. One of the games I tested. I might want to double check that. But that would imply... I feel like I would have given the disk drive a cleaning pass. So I'll double check that, but I mean, as far as everything else here, as for phase 1 testing, boot animation just restored, so I can change that to yes, the controller pairs. And then as far as the console's disk drive ability to read, it does clear fully. Madden 19 is kind of the exception. It's a damaged disk, so my Xbox Series X can only install it up to 18.42 gigabytes. This installed it all the way up to 28.32. So for maybe unexplicable reasons, it's able to jump over the bad segment of the disk that's hard for consoles to read, or hard for disk drives to read, and it maybe found the next segment that's also difficult to read and just failed at that. All the other disks installed perfectly. For phase 2 testing, I stress tested on an hour in Madden 20. Got a max temperature of about 51.1 degrees Celsius. So now I did check it. It does connect to a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal. Physical condition assessment. And that's what I'll also be doing. So let's get to the console itself. Those comments about the disk drive are a little concerning, so I'll be the first thing I do. Get it boot up. Just confirm that the boot animations are still there. Yeah, there it is. So I'm just going to grab all of my game discs. These are all the discs I was using to test with. Just a bunch of discs I bought off of eBay, really. Just to use specifically for testing. So them being used discs mean they all come in different conditions, which is kind of the perfect scenario. And I mean, this Madden 19 isn't like cripplingly damaged, but it is damaged. So let me get to sort of a spot that I can show these games being inserted without it sitting on the home menu, which sort of blasts my name and email. I should probably use a dummy account on these Xboxes, but As far as how I wanted to test these consoles, the current runner was Red Dead 2, which I had as a digital copy game. What I'm going to do is just uninstall everything. I uninstalled all the games I had on this console, so now what I want to do is just insert them and see what they do. If the crew was the one having the problem, I'm just going to check them all. So I'm going to start with Evolve. Read just fine. I didn't hear anything unusual. Something went wrong. Yeah, I yanked the disc out. Let's try Gears 5. Now, I don't think why I didn't pursue the disk drive further is because all of these other discs read perfectly fine. So it could have just been just a weird one-off. Insert the disc, maybe just didn't grab it all the way, or just something weird happened. But I will just go over all of these. Gears 5 read fine. Next is the crew. We'll see what it does. Yeah, so this time it read just fine. So I will pin that as just a one-off, but I will check the rest of my discs. Just maybe I just inserted it in a way where it didn't grab it completely, or it just didn't. So what I have is I put in State of Decay. That'll be 3 separate installs. I'm just gonna yank it early though. Madden 20 is next. Just gonna cancel all these. I did insert it. The disk drive kind of powered down. Oh, it's not ejecting it. Xbox. Thankfully, I have a paperclip. I shifted it and it powered off. My power supply wasn't plugged in all the way. Could that be the reason why it didn't read Madden 20? I kind of doubt it, but... So I'm not going to touch anything. But I mean, it would help if I don't know, plug the power supply in all the way. Since it's going to prompt me to sign in, I'll do that really quick. We'll get there eventually. Alright, let's try this again. It's now ejecting the discs, that's good. Put it back in. There it is. I got 2 more games, Madden 19 and Ghost Recon Wildlands. Madden 19. There that is. And last but not least, Ghost Recon Wildlands. It did it again. So what it's doing is it spins up and then it just almost immediately stops. And then the disk drive almost just like locks up. So this will definitely have to go back on the bench and see what's going on with this disk drive. What's odd is it's very inconsistent. Because now I can't even get it to spit the disk out. See if it shows anything on the home screen. There's a way I can, like, eject it. No, it's not showing anything. So there's a disk right now stuck in this drive. The power of paperclip, I can get it out though. There we go. Try it one more time. Oh, right now. Yeah, so I'm putting the disc in and it's not even sensing it anymore. So I'm going to have to look into this. I'm not exactly all too enthusiastic about that, so I'm going to have to look at this later. But I will have to fail it out of phase 3 testing, which kind of sucks, but issues are issues, so I'll look into this. Odd. I wonder what the problem is. I could maybe just do a cleaning pass to see if that will fix it, or if there's some other outstanding issue.